Okay, so I'm going
Streaming.
to call the meeting to
Yep.
order for August 21st, 2025, the SAB. So we can do a quick check-in because we haven't seen each other in a couple of months except for during the old time fair. Mike, have you said everything you want to say, or do you have any more there?
As far as the board goes, I did get some more energy audit data from the city. I haven't had a chance to really dig into that yet, and I know that Roberto said that he had some interest in looking at that as well.
Okay.
But in time we can look at that and see where things have gotten to.
That's good.
Yep. And I don't anticipate that I will be at the next meeting, but I'll certainly let everyone know. How's it going?
Yay. All right.
You have your priorities.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So, Greg?
I went to a really interesting meeting in the Swift Shore neighborhood on Monday night that Terry Shoemaker had pulled together. There were a dozen neighbors who had kind of met around neighborhood kind of resilience sorts of things, had done community mapping a year and a half ago. And they're reading a book called Lifehouse that looks at the value of kind of creating climate resilience hubs. And so they're kind of working their way through those chapters, but it was very impressive that there was more than a dozen people sitting around this deck having this conversation about some really serious stuff. And we're very, very interested in it. So and I'd given the book to Dylan to take a look at, just to think through whether it might make sense to have some conversations with city staff people as well as some of the counselors as well. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if Dylan had a chance to read it, but the conversation around the neighborhood in Swift Shore was pretty impressive.
That's fabulous. Kate, you want to check in?
Yeah, what did you say the name of that book was?
Lifehouse, taking care of others, taking care of ourselves in a world on fire.
Gotcha. I'm just gonna write that down.
Yeah.
You can put it in the minutes too. Greg, can you
Yeah.
put that in the minutes?
Sure, I will.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just staying busy. As I said when some of you were here, that today was kind of back to school, getting ready for stuff with my kids. And then tomorrow morning, we're just going to shove in one last backpacking trip. I'm going to take my whole family up to Mount Hood to backpack, 3 miles in, because the kids are still pretty young, but it's fun getting them out. We've been out once this summer backpacking, and this will be the second trip, so it'll be fun.
Cool.
Where are you going?
We're going to Burnt Lake. I haven't been there before.
Oh, okay. Because I know Twin Lakes is perfect for small kids.
We actually went to Twin Lakes like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Great.
I've done a lot of the like small lakes, small rivers where the hikes in are just like between about 2 and 4 miles, because that's good for the kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I have one that's just a mile in. That's a beautiful little lake, but a longer drive. So I can tell you.
Which one is that?
Catalpa.
Okay. I'll have to look that up, because we've done a bunch like Marion Lake, and there's one that was like Square Lake, and there's some that are kind of down toward Detroit Lake and past there.
Square Lake I've been to. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, there's some good ones over there too. So
great.
Yeah.
Rob, you're muted. You're muted. You have to unmute. I can't.
There we go. Now I'm unmuted. Thought I clicked it. Good summer. Glad to make it to the old time fair for part of that. And let's see, doing things with grandkids, taking the grandkids to the coast tomorrow. There you go.
Yay. All right.
Escaping the heat.
Well, that's just sweet. All right, okay. Dylan, you want to check in?
Yeah, Roberto did just email saying he's not going to make it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And Greg, I have read a little bit of that book, and then I got derailed with a number of other things, but so far it was pretty good.
Okay, great.
We are trying to do a little kind of starting the momentum of getting the B2 Weeks Ready program going. Maybe when summer's over, we'll push it a little harder and try to get people to sign up. So that's going on, and I'm always just busy with kids and life and all the things,
Right.
hospital
Do you-
visit this week, it's just awesome. 5
Do you
stitches.
still have?
for-
Do you still have
Good luck,
6 pairs
Dad.
of shirts?
We had like closer to 15 this last weekend. So yeah, that's kind of still a thing. It's chaos over here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Counselor, you want to check in?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's the latest news is that a neighborhood cat has adopted us. It just keeps showing up on our porch and wanting to be petted. So we're pretty much formally adopted. And at the moment, it's named Kitty Cat, which we're working on. I
Right.
appreciate suggestions. What else? Otherwise, we had a really nice neighborhood affair at Sunset Park last Sunday. About
Oh,
75 people showed up. Lots of
good.
kids. They all had fun. There's a little band. I'm going to be taking some time off. I'm visiting my grandkids in New Jersey, basically over Labor Day weekend, a
Mhm.
couple of days before and after. But otherwise, things have been relatively quiet.
Yeah. I'm glad you made it to the Sunset Park thing. I wanted to go. It is my neighborhood, but I was out of town. So glad you went.
Good weather and lots of friendly people.
And
Great.
I've always been a very regular participant in the pop-up demonstrations that have been happening around town.
All right. So I'm just going to say I'm looking forward to, since I really can't carry a pack uphill anymore, not in the altitudes. So my friends and I who sing together are taking a horse packing trip into the Wallowas in a week. So
Oh, wow.
Wow.
yeah, so I'm just gonna let the mules carry the stuff and the horses carry me, and then we'll have 5 days up in the Lakes District of the Wallowas.
Cool.
That'd be
Yeah.
neat.
And they'll come back and get they'll come back and get us when we're done. So yeah. All right. Well, that was a nice long check-in, but we haven't seen each other. Our next our next thing to do is to approve both the May and the June minutes, which I sent, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks
Sorry,
ago.
I don't understand.
Oh. Is that mine?
No, well, somehow your computer connected to mine and I started hearing your voice and then the computer said, I don't understand, but I'll turn my sound off.
I don't- Okay. So May and June minutes to approve. So I'd like to get someone to suggest that we approve the May minutes. If you haven't had a chance to see them, well, you did, but that's okay.
I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Need a second? Kate?
Second. Yeah.
All right. So did you mean, Mike, the May minutes or the June or both?
I
I think
thought we
we
were
have to
talking about,
remember.
I think we were just talking about the May only, but if I
Yes.
can move
All right.
to approve the May minutes, then
Okay. Kate, you have seconded. All those in favor?
aye.
All right.
I just had one suggestion, and that was to add the action items if those are available, because they
Oh,
weren't in the actual minutes. And there's just one typo that I'll tell you about afterwards.
can you fix that typo?
Yeah, I can fix the typo and send it back to you.
Let's just do
But
that.
but if you could add the action items, that would be good.
I don't know if I can do that. I'd have to go study that.
Okay.
I'll see if I can.
Okay.
All right. I'll make a note of that. So can we pre-approve them before I've done that?
Yeah, I think so.
I should hope so. Come on, Dylan. Say yes. All right. Who would like to move that we approve the June minutes, please? Make this quick.
I move the Rob. I'll
you,
move
Rob.
it.
All right.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the June minutes once the action items have been added.
No,
All in
it's the
favor?
action items on the May minutes.
Oh, just the May. All right. That's so long ago. Okay. So June minutes already have the action items. Greg?
If there were any action items, I think so, yeah.
Okay. So then all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, it's
Aye.
been moved, seconded. We have done it. They are approved. We have 4 main items here for today's discussion, and if we don't get to them all, that's okay, particularly the one that Roberto was involved in, which was number 6 on the agenda. So let's maybe skip that or move it till last to see what we think of that, or wait till next time with him.
And Roberta asked me to report on that as much as
Oh,
I can. So
oh,
I'm
good.
happy to do that, but let's leave it as 6. That's fine.
So
As the final item. Yeah.
okay, all right. So I left notes for Kara Soller, is that how you pronounce her name?
Yes.
About limiting or eliminating gas appliances in new homes. And those are in the June 11 minutes. And if you have access to those, you could refer to them during this conversation. Which is what I'm doing. So I don't even know how to begin this discussion. I just got back.
I can jump in because I met with folks from the advocacy committee for the Lake Oswego Sustainability Network.
That'd be great.
Two people there are very interested in it, and we talked about 2 possibilities. One is Lake Oswego is anticipating a new development in the foothills area. And so one of the options that Kara had talked about was just kind of writing an ordinance that would prevent more natural gas pipes from being laid down in that new area.
Yeah.
On the, basically based on the argument that Lake Oswego is supposed to have cut its greenhouse gases significantly by 2050. And there need to be steps that are taken to do that. And then another possibility would be to implement emissions standards with regard to gas heaters and gas furnaces and gas water heaters. And so Lisa from the advocacy committee and I are going to be meeting with Kara in mid-September to try to clarify the best way to kind of bring a proposal forward to the Lake Oswego Sustainability Network Coordinating Council, suggesting that a kind of a resolution or proposal like that be brought to the council and then taken to the Lake Oswego City Council. So that's where things stand with that. I think one of the things that we talked about with regard to West Linn is that since there's not a lot of building going on here, it may not make sense to take on a topic that would be so controversial. But there are other things that we could potentially do as well. So I'll keep kind of apprise you of like what's happening in Lake Oswego with regard to those kinds of proposals. But I'd be interested in how other people felt about that particular presentation and whether it's something that we should think about doing, not this year, but as one of our recommendations for the coming year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know of any big developments or even medium-sized developments that we're looking to start in West Linn. But there's a lot of infill going on where there are already gas pipes.
Dylan, you're muted.
Sorry, I was just talking to a kid in the room.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I thought you were trying to chime in.
Yeah, Kara actually shared with, I think, most of us after the meeting the building emission savings ordinance from Berkeley that might be
Yes, yeah,
more interesting and useful for us.
yeah.
And it shouldn't be terribly controversial. Basically, it would require when people list a house to do an assessment of the building's energy performance and opportunities for improvement. But what it also does is it produces a rating. And if you know, then if you're buying in West Linn, every time you look at a house for sale, you'll get a sort of standardized rating of its energy efficiency.
Mhm.
So it could end up being an incentive for for
Mhm.
buyers. If you're yeah. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Victoria. Sorry.
No, I'm questioning Rob, who would do that rating and seems like you'd have to pay for that to be done, just like you pay for an inspection.
Yeah, I think the ordinance in Berkeley, if I recall correctly, and I'm just looking at it again,
Yeah.
um, basically requires the seller to make the inventory and the assessment. Yeah, so I think that's the thing. It might actually add some cost, um, but apart from that, it's
Yeah. I love the idea.
possibly a way for us
Yeah.
to sort
Yeah.
of
I think
raise
I know when I
awareness.
first, yeah,
Yeah, go
when
ahead.
I
Sorry.
first heard about it, I was wondering like whether people were going to be required to kind of transition away from natural gas to like electricity, but I think it's just the assessment. So
Yep.
from that standpoint, it really, has a lot of public education value.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not heavy-handed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. And to see how there can be a lot of pushback. Some. Kate, what do you think?
Mhm.
You're muted.
Sorry, I'm muted. We're just gonna do this all night. Um, the I was so I guess I just had a question for Rob. Can you say again what Berkeley did? Can you describe that one more time?
Yeah. So I'm just looking at it right now. So when a building is listed, and they have different standards for different size buildings, but thinking of homes, for instance, what they call small buildings, 850 to 15,000, 850 square feet to 15,000 square feet. So they're just an energy assessment at the time of listing, um, and compliance. So it becomes a city ordinance. So it's something that you have to do. Um, as you list the house and then report that to potential buyers. So it becomes a feature. In Europe they've been doing this for a while. If you look at listings in Europe, it's you'll see these ratings, green bars, and then the account of why a house or a building gets a particular kind of rating, energy efficiency rating.
And is
Um,
this scaled by square footage?
Say it again.
Are these ratings scaled by square footage of the house? I mean,
Yes, yeah. So the Berkeley standards are basically four categories: large buildings, medium buildings, small buildings. Oh, and actually, I take that back. So houses are separate. Yeah, so it's just, but houses and small buildings are have the same requirement, which is a basic energy assessment.
I think he may be asking about whether or not, say, like there's a metric that allows you to compare the efficiency of one house to another. That says something like,
Yes.
hey, we think it'll cost you 15 cents per square foot per year to cool the place.
Yeah, I don't know that they actually. I see what the question is. Yeah, I don't know that they actually try to quantify it in dollars and cents, but they do give it a rating in terms of
So it's like a
its.
grade.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Silver, gold, and platinum.
Yeah, there
Leo,
you
I
go.
have a question. If that would have to be a city ordinance, what would it take to do that?
Yeah,
it would have to be a city ordinance, and I think we'd have to very carefully see what Oregon codes have to do with what we can add, what we can require of a new
yeah,
builder.
yeah.
Dylan, do you have any comments there?
No, pretty much what you said. Yeah, I mean, writing up an ordinance, getting it to council, it would be a lot. Yeah.
It sounds like 2 years.
I don't know. A while.
A while.
And it sounds like this would apply to new and existing building sales.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
when
it
you're
wouldn't
selling, when
necessarily
you
be
list a home,
something. Yeah, so it wouldn't necessarily be something that only like applies to people building houses. And
right?
I know that the companies may object to the added cost of that, but and I'm sure in the grand scheme of things, it's not really all that much.
Hey, Becky, Nancy, can you tell around the middle of the meeting?
I'm wondering too, like there's the energy efficiency from the like trying to be sustainable perspective, and then there's also the energy efficiency with how expensive utilities are nowadays. So, I mean, if if a place, I feel like people are paying more attention to utility costs than they used to, in the last like couple of years. So it, people who maybe don't care as much about the environment might care about the money savings of a
Right.
more energy efficient home.
Certainly.
It's happened in Texas for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to. I mean, I had just remembered to think about this when I saw Dylan's email telling me, "Oh, that's right, we have a meeting." Um, I am happy to do some research on this and bring it back. So Leo, for instance, to see what the state standards are as well, and whether we could even get away with this. Happy to start doing some of the research and bring it back to the next meeting.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Well, I'm seeing like an article because I was trying to see what they said that says that Portland adopted a home energy score and that Milwaukee and Hillsborough had similar things. This was back in a couple years ago, but
But, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Happy to, and I'll do some of that. I'll look around and see what the metro area is doing.
Yeah, especially Milwaukee, since they're
Yep.
more comparable
Yep.
to our
Yeah.
size. Okay. Well, it sounds like we've got a direction to head on that, and it could be something that takes several years, but is worth it.
Might as well get started.
Yeah, may as well get started.
Happy to do
Okay.
it.
You know,
Well, I've got to duck out, everybody. Nice
all
seeing you.
right.
Good
Stay
luck,
out late,
Mike.
Thank you.
promise. Okay.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
So the next thing on the agenda was to look at the CDC for developers that Roberto was interested in. And Greg, you said you had notes on that, but we would do it last.
Yeah.
However, the next thing is Dan's notes on parametrics. And I haven't had a chance to look over Dan's notes. Has anybody? No?
Well, it's basically, he was just basically reporting back on the things that Parametrics had reported to us in terms of their the goals that they had recommended.
Right.
And I know one of the things that had, I think you had raised is just where things stand with regard to funding and things that we can do to help out with that. But I think to some extent, it would make sense to try to figure out what kinds of things we want to emphasize when we meet with the city council in October. Because I think that we're scheduled to be at the October 6th meeting with the city council. And I'm going to be out of the country at that time. So whatever happens at that working meeting will really need to depend upon the kind of planning that's happened in these meetings prior to that.
Do you folks think what we should do is to have a smaller planning meeting that meets before September, reports back to the September group, and then one or two of those people go to city council, rather than try to have us all sort this out, which we've been trying to do since May? Rob, you're nodding.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, so Dan should be helping to do this. Greg, you're off the hook since you're going to be out of the country. I'll be in town in October. I can work on this, but is it okay, Dylan, for us to have a couple of people to have a subgroup working together and then bring it to the SAB in September for everybody to discuss? And okay.
Yeah, I think that's generally okay as long as it's not a quorum. Yeah.
If we just had, even if we had
And
three
we're
of us,
bringing it to the meeting too. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So, I don't know, actually, Greg, you could have input to that. If we had three people, we still wouldn't have quorum.
Yeah, I'd be happy to participate. If who else
And-
did Rob say that he would be willing to do that?
Yeah, I can help out with that. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Rob, you and I meet, and Greg, you meet with us if you can. We can do it online, and we'll set that up by email later.
Okay.
And bring something back to this group for the September meeting to present to City Council in October. What is that date that we need to present in October? Is that?
I think it's October 6th. Is that right, Dylan?
Yeah, Greg, you got it right. I think it's at 1:00 on October 6th is when it's.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I have that written down. And Rob, I have your name there. So good.
You do?
I do.
So, and Dylan, you said 1:00?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All council agendas are subject to change. Just as a disclaimer, but that is the plan. Yes.
Yeah.
Things always come up and they're always trying to fit it in. But yeah, that's where we're scheduled right now.
Okay. All right. Well, that's plan A to go with that. So that's fine. I would like a discussion on our 2025 goals. That's our item 8 on our agenda. What we would like to do with our energies for the remainder of the year, which is now just really 3 months because we always take December off. Or we don't have to, but we could.
Dylan, was there a formal goal statement for this advisory group?
You mean the work plans? Is that what you're talking
Yes.
about? Yes,
Yes.
there was, and that was approved at the last. Was it the
Okay.
last council meeting? Yeah, and I sent it out to everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I presume the goals should be somewhat aligned with the work plan.
Yeah, I think
Right.
the one thing in the work plan was talking about the parametrics report and maybe kind of focusing on that and where we're going to put our energies related to that report. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was in the work plan.
It's the first thing on the list, and I could read that if we want that.
Please.
I don't think we need that. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So our goal is to take advantage of Parametrics's consultancy to review already existing sustainability and climate action plans. To work with Parametrics to develop a multi-year course of action that could be pursued by the SAB and existing future city staff / future. Parametrics has prepared a preliminary presentation on their recommendations. These should be reviewed and considered carefully in the coming year. So we just need to look at their recommendations and say, how can we implement this in the remainder of the year? And maybe I'm asking.
So that's what we're doing. We're already doing that, Victoria.
Yeah, seems like.
Yeah. So that's taken care of.
And the other goals, it seems like we are working on almost everything on this list already, actually. But the question has been on our agenda for 2 or 3 months now to ask how are we doing this, and if the answer is well, we already are, then that's our answer. But I could go through these bullet by bullet, and we could just say yes, we're doing that, or no, we're not. Didn't we do that in June? Nobody knows.
I think if we looked at that list, Victoria, and try to decide what we really want to just focus in on in the last 3 months to really try to have some quote unquote deliverables of one sort or another.
Right, because then we want to write up some kind of statement of what we actually have done. So does everybody have this available? Because Dylan, you sent that out just now. And so you should have it in today's email for this meeting if you want to open it up. And
Right.
we can a quiet moment to scan this and say, what do we think is the most important thing?
And the document we're looking at is the list, gas powered equipment consultant, et cetera.
It's called 2025 Goals and Council Direction.
Oh no, I've got the wrong one. Okay, hold on.
I think I
Dylan,
might be
you-
looking at the same one as Lou. So I had one that said work plan, like SAB work plan, or is
Oh,
that something different?
I don't. Dylan, did you send that out today? Because I did not get it from there.
This one was sent the 13th.
Yeah.
Do you want me to forward it to you real quick?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, Dylan, you sent it out, Dylan, right?
Yeah, I read it.
Sorry, guys.
Lost it.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
was
I
just trying
just
to share it, but my computer froze up when I did that and I couldn't even talk. But I can try again here in a minute.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Victoria, I just re-forwarded the email, or I guess I replied all, so it should pop up at the top of your email.
Okay, this is it's the one that starts memorandum. No.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that.
So we know what we're looking at now. It's the one that has the list, gas powered equipment consultant. Am I right?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Okay, so
Yes. Yes.
Oh, there it
Dylan,
is. Good.
you just
Yes,
put
yes,
that
yes.
up. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the work plan that council approved at the beginning of August.
You're right.
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't send that out to everybody.
But the second thing is kind of like talking about the consultants report and giving some
Right.
recommendations on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I have them all. But we no longer have consultant assistants. Am I right about that?
Right.
Right.
It's attached report. And is October 6th our joint meeting with the council?
Yes, at 1 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in here. This is basically for the next biennium, so 2025 to 2027, right?
What, these goals? No, they
Yeah.
were the
Yeah.
ones, they were for 2025. We had
Okay.
basically presented them to the council last December with our annual
Got it.
report. And so this
So
is
what
what
he
we said we'd
wants,
be working on this year.
yeah. Should I receive here the
But I
council
see
like,
what Rob is saying. It's saying that it's council
yeah,
priorities for 2025 to
Oh,
27.
oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, council's priorities span that same time frame, so they were just trying to align them together. I think they'll probably check in every year on the goals, but that's the idea. Is we have a year or two to work on these,
So I
kind
guess,
of in line with
Dylan,
our budget.
a question that I've got is just, are we then absolutely wedded to those goals? Since these were the goals that we had set up for just 1 year. And for them to
yeah,
now
same
kind of extend it from the end of 2025 to 27, kind of places some real limitations on what we can do if we have to be just allied with that.
I mean, I think the
What-
idea is to focus on these. And it says kind of there at the bottom of the screen, if something comes up that you want to change the work plan,
Okay,
we can write to
Yeah.
council about that and update it. And this is kind of a new process, something we used to do in the past, and they're bringing it back to kind of just communicate better and focus everyone better. But I think that every year they'll revisit them and we can adjust them every year as well.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
well, this would be an interesting test of that. So let's suppose we get really interested in the building emissions savings, a building emission savings ordinance. That would be a significant change, right? Because
Yeah.
it means real work for us and real work for the council, and yeah, interesting, and city
So
staff.
I guess I would hate to see the possibility of moving that direction basically blocked by our goals that we set at the end of 2024 for 2025. I'm not sure that that wasn't the intent of the council, was it, Dylan?
I think it's just these were the higher priority things for them. I think if there's real interest in this gas powered thing, I mean, something you can bring up on October 6th as well.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys have that opportunity.
Yeah. Yep. Good. Okay.
Generally speaking, we're working with good people.
Very good. They're a great council. They really are.
They are.
Leo.
Okay. I don't know if I were going to pick one thing and just that I would like to prioritize on this list. I would actually work on number 6, considering that the 45 million that just got allocated to the waterfront project. So I'm interested in that, but that's just my thinking on it. And of course, number 1, a gas powered equipment, since we're working on that.
And the
So-
45 million is not really for the waterfront project in entirety. It's for all of
That's
the
right.
work with Grand Ronde and the building, the restoration of the old mill site over in Oregon City, and the possibility of building some kind of new museum celebrating the falls on the Westland side. So the 45 million is not really
It's not
have much
I
to do with
thought-
us. Yeah.
I thought a lot of it was just to go to buy the property on the island.
Well,
But
that
that's a later
plus-
discussion. I'm just
Yeah.
looking at, what we're trying to do tonight is to look at priorities, and that one interests me.
yeah.
Certainly what the Falls Trust does on the island has got to be consistent with what we're doing in the
Yeah.
waterfront project. For example, they're going to need transportation onto that island. So
Uh-huh.
we're gonna probably have to have some roads.
Huh. Or a pedestrian bridge.
Yeah,
How big is the island, Leo? Do you know?
I don't know exactly. Several acres, maybe as many as 10 acres
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. There needs to be a road. Yeah.
Well, right now there's basically a very narrow, basically almost dirt road that leads down to it. And that's clearly not adequate.
Right. Is it still an actual island, or do you need a bridge? I mean,
It is an island, and I believe there is some sort of bridge
yeah.
now that reaches it.
Okay. Well, um, Dylan, you've put this here, this halfway page here.
Yeah, I just pulled up the parametrics report just as kind of a reminder of the things they are saying are the highest impact to focus on. Yeah. I guess, I mean, some of the interesting thing is, a lot of these things are just happening, right? Outside of the SAB. But yeah, still kind of what this group wants to focus on between this and the work plan, I guess, would be good things to talk about on October 6th.
I gotta say, the fact that it's already happening outside of this committee is fabulous. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a problem. That's a benefit.
that's a great thing. So, Greg, are you still with us?
I am. I'm just taking notes.
One thing I forgot to add to the agenda, but I was going to bring up, I think I brought up to maybe somebody. I was just looking at Public Works building, and Public Works was wanting to get from this group kind of and we can talk about it maybe after this item. Public Works was wanting we put in the new EV charger down at down the Willamette area, and are charging money. And I think right now they set it to 125% of the cost of the power. And they were looking to see, they wanted, SAB's recommendation, if that sounds like a reasonable amount, or if it should be more or less, or yeah, they were looking for a recommendation from SAB. So I wanted
Was
to bring
that-
that up. That kind of came up late.
Was
Well, you
that a
have to
recommendation for charge? How much it would? Could you repeat the first part of your sentence, Dylan?
Yeah, so we're charging on that one now. The one at
Okay.
City Hall is currently still free.
Okay.
And it has been for a while, but yeah, that one is set for 125% of the cost of, power
Okay.
essentially only, I think, which kind of covers some of the because there's back end administrative costs and things. So we're just not wanting to lose money on it.
And some capital and maintenance costs.
Right.
Do you
You
know
know
what that rate is? Like,
Yeah.
what's the 125%?
Whatever the power cost is, and I don't know that off the top of my head. I could find it out though.
Because I
You
could
know-
tell you as someone who charges an electric car what I think is reasonable if I were charging
Yeah.
somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, and
please
I
tell
also
us.
pay
Yeah.
attention to like what home rates are, right? So would it be comparable to like what I pay at home? Would it be like similar to that?
I really don't know what PG's rate on it is, and I don't think they shared that with me yet.
How about this?
Um,
Is there a way to determine what the average person pays to charge their car there?
Probably. I mean, I think it's only been going it's for a very short period of time. So the data we have on that one unit is pretty limited.
So I just took a long trip with the car up to Orcas Island and back, and one charge was free, one was $7.50, and the other one was over 20. So as someone doing this, I'm going to say $7.50 is reasonable, free is wonderful always, and 20 over 20 was kind of annoying.
But how much were you being charged? Like how much charge are you
Like
paying
per
for?
kilowatt hour?
Yeah, it's per kilowatt. That's what you're looking for.
Of course, and I don't know. I know that I charged about up to 80% and it was down to 35. It was a little low. So, and my battery is a different size from the next person's. So that's why I was wondering if we even have information for what does the average charge cost? Plus, this is a level 2 and not, I was doing fast charging, which is more energy per minute.
Right. So this is Dylan. The city chargers are they're not fast chargers.
No, they are level 2.
I think they're level
They're
2,
level
yeah.
Yeah, because the cost per kilowatt is determined partially by the provider like Electrify America or something like that, but it also is dependent on the speed of the delivery. So whether it's a level 2 or a
Mhm.
so yeah, it would
And
just
I
be
am fine. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I was gonna say it would just be interesting to know what I assume there's when they say 125%, what they're really saying is the full 100% of the cost of a kilowatt plus the 25%. So we should
Correct.
actually be able to get that number. But
And
yeah.
I did find it from Public Works. Let's see.
Right.
The city's average cost is 12 cents per kilowatt hour.
Oh wow,
So
That's a
cheap.
good price.
Yeah,
So we're
that's
talking
great.
15 cents of
That's a
kilowatt
good
hour.
price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just looked up what I pay at home. If my off peak is like 9 cents per kilowatt hour, and my on peak hours is like 44 cents per kilowatt hour.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, and
So
this says
that's in line
average
with-
cost.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
So-
that's reasonable, but
Yeah.
just as a gut reaction.
Yep.
And I think Public Works was hoping for like a recommendation from a percentage standpoint, like so it's 125% good, 150, 200%, something like that. So as prices change, they can just adjust it, not
But-
a fixed
Yeah.
number exactly.
I think the basic principle is to recover the total cost, including capital and maintenance.
Yeah.
As well as the
Correct.
cost of electricity.
And that's reasonable.
Well, and
And they
that's
want-
tricky because I don't know that our group would know that. That would be
Yeah.
something maybe that other cities who do a similar thing would know, right?
right. Because we wouldn't know the maintenance costs.
Yeah, the company that does that EV charger, I think it's called ChargePoint. It says they recommend 9 cents a kilowatt hour, which is says roughly is $1.13 for 2 hours of charging. But we would lose money at that rate. So we were like, no, that's not going to work. We don't want to really lose money. We at least cover our costs as we're
I
adding
think
more EV charging.
well, once and a half, like 15 cents an hour. We could go as much as 20. Wait a minute. How many kilowatts an hour is it at a level 2 charger? We don't know.
I can look at what my home is. Does anybody know that offhand?
No.
No. Well, shall we research this and come back, or do they want it before September?
Oh, it's fine to think about. It was just something they asked me to bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about it in the future as well. Right now, it's set at 125%.
Yeah. I mean, what we would need to know is kind of what Public Works, or I would assume already knows, and that is the maintenance costs. Sounds to me like what they're really asking for is a ballpark figure in terms of what we think is reasonable. My
Reasonable.
response would
Correct.
be
Yeah.
whatever it takes to cover your costs. Take your 9 cents per kilowatt hour average and figure out what your costs are, and then tell us what that percentage
Yeah,
is, and we'll
Public
either say,
Works should,
well, that's great, or well, that's terrible.
Yeah. If that's the recommendation, just cover the costs right there and not make a little more. That's fine too. Yeah. Which is essentially where we're at, I think.
yeah, can Public Works come up with that figure?
I
They're,
mean,
they're the ones who know what it's costing them to maintain it.
well,
Okay.
it's a new thing for us, right? I mean,
Right.
so I don't know that they really know like the annual cost since it's just starting. They're wondering
I
like
mean,
market rates and
could you tell them that the idea of them making, basically just that we support them having it at a price that is fairly low, but also covers maintenance for them?
yeah, I think that's
I mean,
fair.
I think if we
That's
said
probably all
that,
the
that would probably
information
be,
Yeah.
and
that
given
works.
that a number of us drive electric cars, and it seems to make sense that, I mean, personally, I'm probably going to go charge at it one of these days now so that I can try it out and see what I think.
Yeah.
Good.
That would be good.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So Dylan, I guess and maybe you don't know the answer to this one, but so does ChargePoint? ChargePoint provides us with the hardware and the software, I assume, but is it entirely up to us to maintain it and operate it, or do they have any part in this?
I don't know all those details yet. No, because I'm
Yeah,
not the one doing it. I could ask that though.
yeah. I mean, it's
Uh,
just
So who
interesting.
does?
I'm guessing there's a maintenance contract available.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Actually, which would make it a lot easier if you know what the maintenance contract is, then you can, you have a set figure you can.
yeah,
Yep, good,
Yeah.
interesting.
and I had a question as long as we're talking about chargers. Over at the Walgreens off of McLaughlin Boulevard, there are chargers that are owned by Shell. And
Hmm.
so, I'm just wondering like whether the city might also kind of explore the possibilities of finding corporations which are actually responsible for these facilities and building them, and it's just a matter of locating them. So I had no idea that Shell was in the electric charger business, but there they are.
How interesting.
Yeah, I just did a little quick Google search, and the AI is saying average is 20 to 35 cents per kilowatt hour for level 2 charging.
Mhm.
Not sure how
Yeah.
accurate that is, but yeah.
Yeah,
So we
that
would
makes
still
sense.
be below that.
Mhm.
Yep.
What if we just said 25 cents an hour? Just, for the next year until they know what things are costing. I don't know. It's lowballing the AI average.
I would say, I mean, if we don't, I mean, I like the idea of 125%. That seems justifiable to me, you know.
Yeah, I like that.
And then increase it if they figure out their costs are more.
Yeah, I like that best.
That works.
Okay, well, I can let them know that. If there's general consensus on that, that's probably enough
Okay.
information for them to keep going. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good question. Well, we didn't really finish thinking about number 7 on the agenda. I feel bogged down with that.
Well, I guess one question is, do we want to continue pursuing anything with regard to gas-powered leaf blowers or picking up compost? Things that we've had kind of on our agenda in the past, but haven't really kind of made much headway.
Yeah, I think we should. I don't know how exactly.
You know, I'm always going to be stuck on the compost thing, so I'm game for that. That one just, I don't know, there's something about that I just can't get over.
And Dylan, have you had any luck at all kind of talking with folks from Westland Refuse and Recycling with regard to kind of taking some steps to really kind of grapple with this? I know that we met with them a couple of years ago, but nothing's really come out of it.
Not lately. They are still very open to the conversation. I think I mean, this is kind of where I think we need to talk as this group before we go to council. And if you want to bring up composting or this gas thing, kind of need to decide and then talk to council and say, let's focus on these things and gas powered and whatever else. And
Yeah.
then from there I can set up meetings with Westland Refuse for the composting.
Okay.
They're ready to talk about it again. Yeah.
Did we, when did we renew our contract with them? If I remember right, it was going to be recent.
It's kind of auto renews, and I think it just recently I think it auto renews every year. That's the way it's set up. It's kind of it's like a lot of solid waste contracts. They're pretty long. It auto renews like every year for 8 years. So
Okay.
I think every July it auto renews it's either 7 or 8 years. But we can talk to them about amendments and things, and we have talked internally about that a little bit. Especially if you want to do things like composting and things, might be a change to the franchise contract.
Is the whole city covered by Cohut or is it split?
Yeah, nope, the whole city. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so that stays on. The other one was the gas powered leaf blowers.
Sorry, I forgot my screen was still showing.
It is. That's okay. Yeah, we were gonna work with Lake Oswego on that. See what they were doing. It's been a while.
Yeah, I haven't checked
I
in with them for a while, but yeah, they're still working on it. I think in the fall they might be moving more on that. Whoops.
Uh-huh.
They are considering a recommendation right now. I guess when I talk with the folks who are kind of spearheading this in Lake Oswego, they weren't interested in doing like an educational fair with us, which is one of the things that we had talked about doing. So I suppose we could look at their proposed ordinance and see like where that goes. Apparently, it was really controversial when it was initially brought forward to the folks at the coordinating council for the Lake Oswego Sustainability Network, in part because of equity issues and concerns about what its impact would be on smaller landscaping businesses. And so I think one of the things that I had talked with folks in Lake Oswego about was trying to go and talk to the county commissioners to see whether they would be willing to help support some kinds of financial opportunities for people in those small businesses to help cover the cost of the new leaf blowers, which is what had happened in Multnomah County. And so I think that that is a place that we could conceivably collaborate with some of the other cities to kind of reduce the negative consequences of that regulation for small businesses.
That's
So I
legitimate.
suppose that would be something that we could decide that we really wanted to address.
I imagine if there's a fairly long transition period, then people would be replacing their leaf blowers anyway, so they're not throwing away.
Yeah. And that's certainly the way that they've been written in other cities there's like a 2 or 3 year period of time when people can make that transition. But I think that the real issue for Lake Oswego was just the equity impact. And I think that's what, when we talked about it, a year and a half ago or so, I think it was one of the things that led us to decide to just focus on the educational pieces.
Oh,
I mean, for one thing, they're a lot quieter. The electric ones are a lot quieter.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if anybody else reads the Westland Community Facebook page. It's gets a little dicey in there sometimes, but they've had some people post in the last 6 months about like, hey, we should get rid of gas powered leaf blowers. And then there's actually a lot of pushback. I know online forums is not the most accurate, but and the issues people brought up were the cost, essentially, the cost of replacing everything with electric.
Uh-huh.
And then the just general like, oh, we can't have anything anymore without the government telling us what to do.
Uh-huh.
oh, that. Like seat belts.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like maybe every few months someone posts something about it.
Uh-huh.
Not a hot topic. Okay.
Well, I think what we had really kind of initially explored was just the possibility of encouraging people to electrify their landscaping equipment. And that continues to seem like a reasonable thing to try to kind of educate people about. The trick is like how you go about doing that in a way that is actually successful.
Yeah.
We are talking about just commercial landscapers, not individual who own leaf blowers.
No, actually, Lake Oswego was everybody.
Okay.
And I think that's what the regulations have done in other cities as well. It's like a kind of a community-wide ban, and that's what Portland has done actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
How has Lake Oswego implemented this? That is how they've gotten the word out to folks. So, if you're just a homeowner buying a new leaf blower.
It hasn't, it's still up for discussion. It was
So
just
they're
brought
okay, yeah.
forward to the city council. So
And
it's
if
something
they're
that they're considering right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And as they have tried to encourage changes, have they done do we know anything about their sort of publicity efforts?
Yeah, and they have sponsored over the last few years kind of fairs available to the public in which they kind of give demonstrations about electric landscaping equipment. And so there really has been, from that standpoint, a pretty consistent strategy to let the public know that these options are out there, and that if they were to replace their gas-powered leaf blower or gas-powered lawnmower, there are reasonable kind of alternatives that they could choose from.
Yeah.
And I think
They've
they've done some surveys. They did a survey or two, pretty extensive
Uh-huh.
surveys, and yeah, and they had an education like online digital campaigns as well.
Yeah, yeah. And do you know the results of those surveys, Dylan? I haven't seen
No, I
them.
never saw them. No,
Yeah, yeah.
we could ask for them. Public records request.
It's true.
And I know the person. They would just give it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
You could just get the numbers. Let us see them.
Well, I know that last year we wrote the article, or one of our people wrote the article for the for the tidings,
For the tidings,
a
yeah.
little
Greg wrote that.
op-ed or whatever for that. And I'm wondering if there's more like either education or like grassroots support that we could build um in terms of educating folks on what that could look like. I was just trying to think about what avenues we could use to
This is something we've been struggling
to kind of
Yeah.
Well, that's why I kind of met with the folks at Lake Oswego, is just to see whether there was any interest in doing like a Lake Oswego Westland Fair at Robinwood Station, for example. It's kind of on the border between Ello and West Lynn. And they basically decided not to do those kinds of public events for a while around that particular issue. We could try to do something ourselves. If we wanted to try to see what we could accomplish. But yeah, it's our luck with those kinds of events has been pretty minimal. We're actually,
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted to just let everybody know is that there is going to be a presentation about backyard habitat on September 21st that the SAB is sponsoring, that the folks from Backyard Habitat will be providing at the community room at the library. So
What's the date of that?
no, September 21st at noon. It's a Sunday. And I just submitted another op-ed about that to the tidings. So hopefully that'll be published, just to get some more information out too. But attendance at these things has just been so minimal that it's hard to figure out how to actually reach people.
I just had an idea. It would, if you had a booth, a table, comparing just the volume of a gas-powered leaf blower and an electric-powered one, and you had that at the Safeway on a Saturday with Safeway's permission, and Market of Choice on a Saturday with their permission, you'd reach a lot more people. They'd come over. What have you got there? And you've got these. I mean, I'm trying to think of someplace outside and public where there are a lot of people, without grocery stores. That would be a place to try, but it would. It's private. It's not a public space, but it's a thought. It'd be a place where you could set up that demo of, listen, this is really how much quieter this is, or whatever it is you want to push, price, whatever. Because
another way to get the word out, so is the newsletter, I've noticed this, what's it, the Owl or whatever, that's coming from the city. Do any of you read that?
Yeah,
I do when it comes.
Yeah,
I'm interested. Yeah.
So we could include an article in there,
right.
be brief. Yeah.
Yep. And you don't have to have the sound in the article, but you could simply list the decibel differences, etc.
And the chemical pollutants.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Oh yeah. How many miles you can drive? What kind of car? With it for the pollutants? Yeah.
Well, and like I don't actually, I'm bringing up Facebook for the second time today. I don't actually look at Facebook very much, but I wonder too about, like, there's that Westland Sustainability group on Facebook, and I wonder if, like, there's an article in the Owl, like lots of people like me who maybe don't read that, if we could also like share a post of it to somewhere like that, you might catch some people, because that seems to be fairly active. A lot of the questions are about recycling, but I think if we could share some things digitally, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
Great. Yeah, that's right. Those of you who know how to use social media. So does the city have a Twitter account? What did I just say? Twitter, that's dead. An X account.
We do have an X account. They don't use it very much anymore.
Yeah, I can understand why.
Yes, you can guess why.
TikTok,
Yeah.
etc. Yeah, but yeah, I am told constantly by people who obviously know better than me that social media is the way to go. But I'm
And
not a user.
I'm going to throw in a request. The owl is, I don't know if we've missed the deadline. I know they're working on it right now. I'm throwing in an email request right now asking if there's any space for something about gas powered. So if anyone has something specific they want to say that's brief, I'm sure, because I'm sure they're very limited on space. If they want to send it to me soon, I'll see what they say. But yeah, that's in the works.
Um,
Greg, do you
not
have some of that
offhand, I
information?
don't.
ready?
I wouldn't even, I'd have to really sort through stuff to find something.
Or
Well,
you
we
know,
have
I can
we
wait
have
to see what
Tracy's
they say.
op-ed,
If they say yes, I can ask somebody to help me with that.
and you have
Greg?
Tracy's op-ed to basically, just pull stuff from if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you know what date that published?
I think it was very early in January, like the first or second week in January.
That works. If that's okay to do that. Okay, well, I think we've looked at this a bit. We've kind of answered our questions as to what we want to do for the remainder of the year. We want to talk about the tree code. We've got about 15 minutes to talk about the tree code. Greg, you said you had some information from Roberto.
What I've got from Roberto is that there is a teacher at Westland High School and a student who are interested in the possibility of monitoring trees with regard to sudden oak disease and the emerald ash borer. Uh, and so uh, and like I'm on the board of a new small nonprofit that does kind of youth environmental action and educational efforts, and they are interested in potentially helping coordinate some of that stuff as well. So Roberto, is going to be following through on that, but he also has larger ideas about a kind of a citizen science project that has kind of arisen from his conversations with folks at the Oregon State Forestry Department. And that would involve having people at the neighborhood level become involved in doing a more kind of fine-grained tree inventory for the city itself. And so he's kind of moving forward with this stuff, but would like to have some kind of recommendation from the SAB about going to the city council about this. And I think that he has much more knowledge about it than I do. And you can get kind of a clearer sense of what he's up to from that letter that he sent out to us all.
Yeah.
But I think that it might be something worth talking about in September, and then possibly including at least a brief summary of it at the meeting in October.
Okay. That's good. Because his letter was quite thorough.
And I ended up meeting the high school kid who was interested in it when I was doing some volunteer work over at the Environmental Learning Center a couple of weeks ago. And he's a really smart kid, really committed to trying to figure out how he can kind of look into some of these problems related to tree disease. And actually, I'll send you all something that was on Oregon Field Guide about the ash borer disease and its impact on ash trees throughout Oregon, and how ash is like the primary species that grows next to creeks. And once the ash borers arrive, and there are ash borers in Woodburn and in Forest Grove right now, they basically kill almost all the ash trees, which means that there is no shade over most of our creeks and streams in Oregon. So it's a huge problem that will have kind of devastating environmental consequences. So it's an important one to actually address. And There's not much other than just very careful monitoring that can be done about it. But I'll send you that. It's only about 15 minutes, but I learned a whole lot from it, and it kind of acquainted me with exactly how serious the problem is.
That's important. So it's a small video, 15 minutes?
Yeah, 15 minutes. That was just one of the segments of Oregon Field Guide on
Oh, please do
OEB.
send it. Please
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, can you send that?
Yeah, I'll send that after the meeting.
I was wondering if the student and the teacher and they need some kind of app to put this information in. My son developed one for apple trees because he's a cider maker. And so he has this phone app that he uses and on his computer for mapping trees and what is happening with those trees. And I don't see why you couldn't adapt that to use for the ash trees.
And the State Forestry Department has an app similar to that they would then make available to anybody who is
Good.
participating in their program. Yeah.
Okay, good. So it's already done. All right.
I will add, Greg's right on track. This is a serious issue that our Parks Department's talking about a lot. We're actually having an emergency meeting about it next week with the Clackamas County area, as it's been detected pretty close. So we're working on that. And there is one other invasive species that I can't remember what. Anyway, at the time, but emerald ash borer is at the top of our list of concerns. So yeah, we're working on it as best we can with the state and other agencies around us.
Yeah.
Yeah, as head of the community garden, one of the directors for that, I learned that the Parks and Rec is extremely interested in what kinds of chips we get and distribute.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
nearly got my head bitten off until I said, wait, we use cedar. But yeah, so I learned to maybe be more careful about that. Interesting. Okay, so I think we really ought to review Roberto's letter, his email that works with this, and watch the video that Greg is going to send out, and be prepared to do this. Do we want a subcommittee to make recommendations to us in September?
I think we do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because that seems to work better because it just works better with groups. So, Kate, do you feel good about that and doing that with Roberto? Because you just seem so interested, but no was an okay answer.
The my time in the next month is very limited. So
Okay.
I don't think I can say yes to doing things outside of the group with
That's
the
all
way
right.
school's starting and some travel and some things going on.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, well, I will do that with Roberto then. Because I don't have school starting. I just have travel.
Yeah.
Okay, so Greg, you've got notes on that as an action plan for that?
Yeah.
All right. So I feel like we've looked at everything on our agenda except number 9. Is there anybody who feels like they want any additional conversation on any of these items? I'll take that as a no. Now, earlier this year, I think it's too late for this year. Late September would still be okay. The Tualatin River Keepers took the counselors. Am I right? Down the Tualatin River? Is that true, Leo?
No, I'm not aware of it.
Okay, I don't remember how that happened, but I know that they are amenable to taking us down the Tualatin River on a canoe trip or a cattail or there's this tail, Kate. It's cute. Yeah, so I don't
Yeah,
know
that would be interesting.
if you thought that'd be something that we could I don't mind contacting the guy's name. I think is Brett, and who is the main person there at the Tualatin River Keepers. And we could ask for a group tour just to go down the river and see that aspect of our territory if we wanted to do that. They have the canoes. I'm a member of Tualatin River Keepers, and I've never done this group tour. But I could ask them if they're too busy to do it this fall, we could set it up for, I don't know, next July. I don't want to do June. The water's still too high. Is that something y'all would be interested in? Okay, Leo, we could do a combined with the city council as well as with our group, or we could just invite you.
Well, I think we should extend the invitation to the rest of the council.
That's a little more politics.
So have you spoken with them about trying to do this? Like, have you thought about like what section of the river you would actually go on?
I would take their recommendation.
Uh-huh. Because actually, it's really fun to do the final 5 miles that go into the Willamette, but you've got to go over that bridge, which is marked as highly dangerous. But I was a river monitor for the River Keepers for a number of years, and would just go down in a little rubber raft, and would just kind of lift the raft over the dam, and then kind of walk around. It was always kind of adrenaline producing, but not outrageously dangerous, but it is an incredible resource. The river is so beautiful. It was like so surprising to me. Like once I'd floated on it, I just realized what a treasure it is. But it's hard to get in the West Linn section of the Tualatin, but it's
Yeah,
quite nice.
yeah. The other sections are a little easier, although I have gone down the last section.
You have. Oh, good.
I have, but I don't want to talk about it. It was not a smart move. I lived through
What
that.
kind of craft were you in, Victoria?
Rubber boat, a rubber,
Right.
ducky,
Just a
whatever.
rubber raft. Yeah.
Yeah, rubber raft. And it was too early in the season. The water was high.
Oh, that would be scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
We made that whole 5 miles in 20 minutes.
I can imagine. Yeah.
And I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
At least you're still alive, Victoria. That's good.
Right. It was one of those Darwin Awards there. Yeah. So I will ask him. This came up when I think 2 years ago we had some kind of
Oh, the Earth Day
meeting.
event.
It was an Earth Day event. You remember that when they had the
Yeah.
table next to
Yeah.
ours? Was that a year ago or two? Anyway,
Year and
yeah.
a half.
And he was talking about that then, and I've been slow on the uptake, but now it's actually in print, and I'm thinking about it. And if it's too late for this year, setting a date, then late September should be fine. Although he's
yeah.
going to know when the water's too low and when it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll ask him. That's on my list. So, Greg, do you have our action items in your notes?
There are not very many of them, but what I'm going to do is I'll just take the action items out, like when I actually write up the
Yeah.
notes, do that in the
Yeah.
next few days, and then I'll just send you the minutes with the action items kind of highlighted at the end.
It would be wonderful if you could do it by the middle of next week.
Oh, I'll do it by the middle of next week.
Then I would like to write up the agenda for next month and send all this stuff out right after this meeting as soon as possible. So, because then I'm going to be gone and I'm not going to care.
And Dylan, will the recording be up like online by Monday?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, good. So I'll kind of try to type up something between now and then review the recording just to make sure that I'm more or less accurate.
Greg, I'm so grateful to you, and so is Dan.
Yes.
Right.
He had a business meeting today. He couldn't do it. He has to travel to do to various other cities to do his business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else for the good of the measure? We will adjourn a little early, but I feel like we've covered things fairly well. Nice conversations with you all. I appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Thank you very
Karen.
much.
All
Take
right.
care.
Okay, consider the meeting
Bye.
adjourned 7:24.
Okay.
All right.
See you all.
Bye. See you on the river.